Guys, going to do an update on Aster. This is one of my biggest plays, one of my biggest investments for this cycle, maybe going into next cycle as well. This might be one of my biggest bags going into next cycle. So I want to make sure that we understand it. We're up to date with all the latest. We know what the news is coming, any problems, etc., etc. So let's get into it. So we've been bouncing off the 4-hourly time frame on the SMC bot. So you can see the first time we come down here, we ended up bouncing up like this, and then we've come back into this correction. We pushed up to around 243, started to hit some resistance, but BTC did come down as well, right? Now the SMC bot is going to work a lot better the more data it has, right? It's a very new asset. There's not much data. Even the RSI has only just started to kick in as well, right? So the more data it has, the more accurate it's going to be. But it's really nice to see that we're finding some supports here on the 4-hourly. And look, we literally came down to that 4-hourly, touched it, and then we've started to bounce off it. So, you know, are we going to see a repeat of this? You know, it's possible, guys. It's really possible that we see another repeat of this move that we've just had into this consolidation, right? We consolidated to the downside, back to the 4-hour SMC bot, straight up here. We had a nice yellow signal here. You can see on the downtrend that flashed and we came into this downtrend. This yellow signal wasn't very accurate, and like I said, it's very new, and the SMC bot only really started to kick in here with the moving average line. So yeah, the more data, the more accuracy we'll see from this. If we do make another move up like this, it's going to take us around to that 284. Probably we'll tap $3. You're going to get some reversals at the psychological numbers, so you're probably going to get a lot of limit sell orders around $3, and maybe we'll come into another correction. Maybe we'll repeat this pattern. Maybe we push up to $3 like this, something like this, up to $3, get another correction. Maybe we come back down to the SMC 4-hourly time frame, and then bang. If I might do some day trading with you guys, and you know, I'm in my long positions from down here. I'm keeping them open for a very long time, but I might do some day trades with you, and sometimes I'll add to my position if the setup looks right. If we have a consolidation off a big psychological number, and we come down to the SMC 4-hourly time frame, you know, it can be a really great opportunity to take a position there. So looking really good on the bot. Looks like we're about to break out. Looks like we're about to move to the upside. I did buy some more as well, guys. So I actually did buy some more on this dip around here. So I'm holding a lot. Okay, so more news. MrBeast continued to buy Aster. He bought 538,000 Aster worth around $1 million over the last 3 days. Really, really nice to see MrBeast. Now, MrBeast is not a crypto degen. He's not really a crypto maxi, but I tell you who he is involved with right now. He's involved with massive crypto maxis, right? XQC. Aiden is a bit of an idiot. He trades like retail, right? He sold his Ethereum at the bottom, but I think he did buy back in. XQC has over $100 million in Bitcoin, and he's a bit of a degen as well. I don't know what altcoins he's trading, but he's definitely the type to put a lot of money in Aster. And Aiden knows that he knows what he's doing with crypto, right? If anyone knows out of these guys, it's XQC. He's a very good investor, and he is still holding his Bitcoin, right? Probably didn't have it put anywhere near $100 million in there. It's just gone up and up and up, and he's held it. Some say he's got a few $100 million in Bitcoin. So really good to have him in. And also these guys have huge networks and huge followings, and they actively talk about what they're invested in a lot of the time, right? I'm in Bitcoin, or I really like this. And a lot of their followers see it as well. Drake is in crypto, heavy in crypto, probably, again, would be looking at XQC for advice. And then you've got Train as well. He's pretty good in heavy in crypto. So these guys are all in chats with MrBeast now. Obviously, you've probably seen the recent show. They all done together. So they've probably, MrBeast has said, what's going on? They've probably said, look, you know, Aster is probably going to be the next BNB. And BNB went and done a 10,000x, which means that if you invested $1 million, you know, in eight years later, it was worth $10 billion. So we're going to take a bet on Aster. This is the kind of money that's going to come into a project like this. This is why this is very unique, and it doesn't come around very often, because it's something that massive influencers will get into. It's something that retail will get into. It's something that institutions will get into. And it's something that exchanges have to buy as well, right? Other exchanges, you have to buy the competition. Otherwise, you have no say. You have no control. You have no governance. and the competition could just run away, right? So this is why if you look at a lot of the crypto exchanges, when I went on chain and looked at Hyperliquid, a lot of them did actually own Hyperliquid, right? So I think even KuCoin had over $100 million in Hyperliquid. So a lot of people keep saying to me, what's going on? We're dumping. Guys, it's been 8 days? I think it's been 8 or 9 days. And people are losing their minds already. So I did post, what's happening? It's been a week now. I'm only 500% up. We get so used to crypto moving so fast. Guys, it's been 10 days, right? They're still building out the platform right now. We got this on day one. Like, we literally got this on day one. There is 10,000 new buyers every day. Every single day, there is 10,000 new holders. And that's probably going to go on for months. And months. Not everyone is in the same little echo chamber as us, just buying and degenning and looking for the next gem, right? There is 10,000 people coming a day. These things take time. Did BNB go and do 100x in a day? Absolutely not, right? Everyone who had $100 in BNB, so every single person who had $100 in BNB is now a millionaire. Not half of them, not 25% of them, not 100 people, not 1,000 people. Every single holder who had $100 in BNB is now a millionaire. Think about that, guys. Think about everyone who said, what's going on down here? They were holding $1 million and they might have swapped their $100 for $300, right? Because we've seen a lot of KOLs took profits on Aster. It's been a good run after 200 or 300%. And if this is going to repeat BNB, they just swapped $100 or whatever, $1,000. That would have been $1 million or $10 million. And you got to think about this, because the whales, these guys are putting millions of dollars into Aster, and the guys who had $1 million in BNB, it's now worth $10 billion. Okay. And these guys don't really care if they lose $1 million, right? You've probably seen them on the casino. They're just spinning hundreds of thousands. They don't care if they lose $1 million. They'll sit and hold this $1 million because they've just seen what happened to BNB, and they've got all their houses are paid off. They've got all the cars. They've got everything they need. But a $10 billion would change their life, right? Even $1 billion would change their life. And they'll probably sit and diamond hand this, especially when the protocol is going to be buying it back from the users, right? So even if people are selling right now, Aster is actually going to buy it back off them, just as Hype was doing, right? It's the buyback mechanism. So really, really cool to see that we've got some massive channels. And you also have to wonder, has there been a partnership with MrBeast? Is he going to start talking about this on his YouTube channel? Because that's going to be huge growth, right? We already know Binance had Ronaldo, so we know the levels of KOLs that they can bring on board. Maybe MrBeast is going to do this. Maybe we're going to see Drake, XQC, Train, Aiden. Maybe we're going to see all of these guys actually trading on Aster. Think about that, right? Think about how huge that would be. And people asking, what's this 1000x leverage? And, so much retail coming into the market. Breaking. The first Aster whale just bought $35 million worth. I love to see this. So whales that were actually early buying more of Aster, even when the price is 173. Love to see it. Maybe there's some more news coming. Maybe they got some more information. We're seeing a lot of whales around the $1.50 to $2 range. We started to see some massive whales buying serious money. Look at this. 2 whales are actively accumulating Aster. Investor so-and-so linked to Galaxy Digital and Daniel Larimer. I think Daniel founded EOS. He might even be a billionaire. Withdrew 55 million Aster worth $124 million. Just a couple of individuals, guys. $124 million. This is the billionaire money that's now coming into Aster. And these guys are early, right? Because it's the first 10 days. They're very early. And you don't go and put $124 million into something if you don't have conviction. If you don't think it's going to be around for multiple years, if you don't think it's solid, you're not going to put that kind of money into it. And you're also going to see other people say, okay, Galaxy Digital just put 124 in Aster. Why? What do they see that we don't? Okay, we're going to have to get into this. We're going to have to hedge, because what if it rallies? Our clients are going to be asking us, why didn't you get Aster? It's the next Binance, Galaxy Digital buying, right? So the more whales and institutions that come in, the more pressure institutions have from clients to say, look, have you positioned in this, because it could be something special. Loads of whales. Another major player put in 156 million. Crazy, guys. Like we're probably going to see billions and billions coming in just from a few individuals, from institutions, in the coming months, right? And the market cap is just over 3 billion. Absolutely insane. And we talked about this on my video, didn't we? Let me play this for you. I literally said Galaxy Digital are probably going to leave Hyperliquid, and they're probably going to go and put into Aster, and we've literally just see it happen. I think I posted this like 6-7 days ago, and it's literally played out to the T. Why would their user base drop off aggressively? Well, it wouldn't, because there's no competition. But now we have competition come out of nowhere, and we're day one of this competition, right? We're literally day one. So we're yet to see the effects and impacts that two competitors now, with crazy backing, crazy connections, crazy money, two of the biggest competitors now are coming to take you on, and we are seeing a little bit of selling here, as we should, right? Any smart investor who is up massively on Hyperliquid would be diversifying, right? All you have to do is go into Hyperliquid traders, and you can see here, look at the funding fees, guys. Funding fee on Galaxy Digital, right, who have huge amounts of money. Just on Hyperliquid, they've got $40 million on their leverage trades. Funding fees, $650,000. Funding fees, $872,000. On a fairly recent position, it was opened at 120K, right? Fairly recently, already 872K in funding fees. Are you crazy? Unrealized P&L, 1.6 million. So almost half of their unrealized P&L is funding fees. It's absolutely insane. This is why I really went quite heavy into AVNT, is because they were focusing on low fees. And I think they even had zero fees on things like BTC, ETH and Sol if you ended up making a loss. They're not going to be able to compete with Coinbase and Binance in terms of funding fees and liquidity. They're just not going to be able to compete. They're doing well, but they've had no competition, and they're just not going to be able to compete. And I think people like Galaxy Digital, when these trades finish up, or when they decide to close these trades, I think we're going to start to see these companies open up new trades on AVNT. I think we're going to see them open up on Aster.
A few moments later.
So guys, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can see all of the videos, everything we talk about on my channel. And also, if you want to follow my ex, here is the link to follow my ex. Well, head over to Twitter, search for this here, Smart Money Crypto, and click the link when you get to my page, and that's going to give you the option to jump in with us and join the Patreon. But even if you can't jump in and see the calls that we're doing, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on these videos, because we posted that pretty much on the first day or the second day. I think it was within 24 hours, and nearly everything played out right. Hyperliquid really dumped, made a killing on that short. AVNT went crazy, Aster went crazy, and they're still going up now, right? I think it's still quite early days. So more news here from Ravia. Aster hits $46 billion in 24 hours trading volume, 3 times Hyperliquid. That is absolutely insane, guys. Much bigger than Lighter, much bigger than Hyperliquid, bigger than X, bigger than Jupiter. Already. Just like in the first 10 days. So where are we going to be in 2 months, guys? Where are we going to be in 2 years? Absolutely insane. I don't think people really realized that we're not just investing in any random project. This is the next Binance. CZ is literally creating a decentralized Binance, and I don't think people kind of realized, and that's why they were shorting and maybe selling early, you know, thinking it was another pump and dump. If we compare Aster to Binance, so perps volume in the 24 hours was 32 billion. This might have increased, actually. I think this has increased. Perps volume on Binance, 85 billion. So we're almost half of the volume of Binance already. Market cap of Binance, 140 billion. Market cap of Aster, 3.3 billion. That's absolutely ridiculous, right? It's almost doing half the volume. Half the market cap of Binance would be 70 billion. So we're so far away. We're like a 20x away just from being a half of Binance. And in my opinion, Aster is so much bigger than the BNB token. It's so much bigger. BNB token doesn't have the buyback mechanism, right? Aster is going to be funneling millions and millions of dollars back into the Aster token through the buyback mechanism, which BNB hasn't had. Now, I'm sure CZ was probably buying some of it, but there was no obligation there. There was no commitment there. There was no, we're going to put 75% of our fees into Aster. Now, what happens if you tell your community that you're actually going to put 75% of the fees or 50% of the revenue fees back into the token? Who's going to sell the token? Because if you're going to buy back the token every month, if you're going to buy it back every month and you're getting millions and millions of dollars in revenue, it's going to do this over time. It might be volatile, but the trend is going to be up. The trend is going to be continuously up. And it might be very, very aggressive because it's kind of the first time we've had this kind of money coming back into a buyback mechanism, right? If they're buying $10 million every single day, we're talking about $300 million a month coming back into the token. And it doesn't matter if people sell, right? Even if MrBeast makes $10 million from his 1 million buy and he says, you know what, 10x, I'll take it. It dumps $10 million and then the project goes and puts in another $300 million. And MrBeast is wiped out, right? And his little cell doesn't look like anything on chain because the protocol keeps buying back the token. It's the ultimate Ponzi scheme. It's literally, we've not seen anything like this. And this is why I'm about 25% in this now. I didn't put that much of my own money in, right, guys? Because we got in early, because we got in really early, we made a huge. This is the key, right? To try and get in as early as possible. And now we don't really have any risk on the table. You know, my liquidation is probably 0.4, and we're almost at $2. So you know, it's probably never going to see 0.4 in the next 10 years. So you know, unless it gets hacked, that's the only downside, right? So there is a risk there, but I think it's a phenomenal play. I think it's a phenomenal opportunity. So am I going to take some profits before we go into a bear market? Possibly. We'll see. I don't know how I'm going to trade it. I'm going to go with the data. I'm going to be looking at their revenue. I'm going to be looking how the new chain launches. But yeah, it's insane. Aster has reached 70,000 holders in less than a week. That's 10,000 new holders per day. So it is only a week. 70,000 holders is crazy. It's a lot. But it is only a week. And I see this being in the millions eventually, right? So we're still very, very early because even when we get to 100,000 holders, we're still 10x away from 1 million holders. So we're still early, even though it's pumped. It looks crazy, right? A lot of people say, I'm not buying at these prices. You know, I see this at $20 in no time, and it's currently $195. And I see this at $20 maybe in the next 4 months. Not financial advice, of course. This is just my prediction. But yeah, I think it's possible. What else do we have here? So I posted here, Aster is doing 3 times the revenue of Hype, but the market cap is 3 times smaller. Absolutely insane. You could argue, look at Tether. Tether is $21 million. You could argue that this should be 3 times the size of Hype because it's doing 3 times the revenue. How do TradFi look at companies? They look at companies based on volume and revenue a lot of the time. And, you know, how much is it making? What's the user growth? Okay, so they're gaining 10,000 users a day. The revenue is now 3 times of that of its competition. The market cap is 3 times smaller than its competition. It's backed by CZ. It was hundreds of billions of dollars. He owns CoinMarketCap. They've got huge connections, huge liquidity, some of the best developers in the space. And he just ran a company up 10,000x. There is no more tick boxes that you need for this. There is literally no more tick boxes. You have the best play. That's why I think we're going to see so much institutional money coming into this, and I think we're going to see digital asset treasuries. And I don't think they're going to be like the Ethereum treasury, because this is a revenue generating business. This is the most company-like project we have in crypto, right? It's almost like a digital version of Binance with a buyback system that TradFi are going to be able to understand. It's really cool. And I think we're going to get a lot of TradFi investment in this as if it's a stock, almost like a stock kind of investment, as opposed to the traditional crypto investment that we're used to. So for those that aren't on Aster, so their revenue went up even higher. So I think this is a later one, which is 15.66 million in revenue. Crazy. More than Coinbase Wallet, more than Circle. And think of the market cap of Circle. The market cap of Circle, I think, is about 70 billion. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember if it topped at 70 billion. And it came down. I think it's 40 billion market cap. So still a 10x away from where we are right now. And Aster is double the revenue of Circle as well. 15.66 million in revenue. So they're getting close to Tether now. And Tether just recently are trying to raise for 500 billion valuation. And Aster is doing half of the revenue, almost the same revenue if yesterday's is accurate. They're doing almost the same revenue, and they just went for a 500 billion valuation. I don't know if Aster can go public. It probably can't. No. It wouldn't have a chance. It's probably better if it doesn't go public as well, because we want to keep it decentralized. Crazy. That valuation is crazy. And imagine if Aster flips Tether. Imagine if Aster flips Tether in revenue, which I think it will, guys. So let's say it flips Tether in revenue, and let's say Tether get the $500 billion valuation, and Aster is what? The market cap's 5 billion, so it's 100x away from where it should be. If that happens, if it starts to produce more revenue than Tether. This also might be why Tether is trying to raise. Maybe they see Aster just going crazy and people having more interest in Aster. CoinGecko posted insight into Aster. If it reaches Hype's market cap, the price would be $6.99. Price today is $1.95. So again, as we've talked about, revenue should be the revenue actually should make it 3 times larger. So this is just reaching Hyperliquid, even though the revenue is already 3 times larger. So yeah, you could argue that it should be 3 times higher in price, which would put it on $21. So technically, we could argue that Aster should be priced at $21 and it's massively undervalued. Also, notice CoinGecko are marketing. They're marketing Aster. Have you seen how many large platforms are marketing Aster? Don't forget Binance own CoinMarketCap. I don't know if they own CoinGecko. It's quite possible they do. But yeah, I've seen Arkham, Shilling, Aster. So it's not only KOLs. There's a massive community that have adopted it. It's almost got like a cult-like community already. KOLs wouldn't have been paid. Not on this scale. They would have just said, look, believe in us or don't, get on the boat or don't. So all the KOLs seem to be marketing this and are getting very attached to it too. Even myself, I really understand and believe in this protocol. So, I'm quite attached to this. It's got all of the boxes. It's got these blue chip companies. It's got KOLs marketing it. It's got retail behind it, and it's got the perfect example, right? CZ kind of said, you just watched us do a 10,000x. It wasn't easy. We had to hold, we had to build, but it was a community effort. He's literally given us the heads up, saying it's a community effort. What have you seen on socials? You've seen the entire KOL community come together, ape into this, and pretty much say they're going to diamond hand it for a long time. Apart from the hyperliquid whales, a lot of the hyperliquid whales are fudding this, and I don't know how many of them are paid. And of course, if they've been paid, it's very hard for them to come out and say they're interested in Aster, right? Because they might have been paid by hyperliquid for a 6-month or a 12-month contract. Because I don't believe that so many of them were long in hyperliquid when you had 2 new competitors come out with CZ money, with a platform that offered a lot more stocks trading, more leverage, more liquidity. I kind of refuse to believe that people were short in that and long in Aster. So I don't know. One of the greatest moments, the chance to buy in fairly with the whales. This is another thing I love. Like we got the opportunity to buy in before Galaxy Digital, before we just saw the EOS co-founder buy in. They were buying up here, right? I think they were buying up here somewhere at $2. Now, they were buying up here, and we've just been sitting in this for like days, right? We managed to buy this before the whales, and now the whales are coming in and pumping our bags. We're seeing 10,000 new holders a day coming in and buying everyone who's selling. There is going to be a lot of sell pressure at first. I think a lot of the market and a lot of this space has got really... We've had a kind of a crappy 6 months, crappy 12 months of this pump and dump. Altcoins really underperformed for so long, and so many people and so many meme coins were running. And those who held meme coins ended up making a loss, right? So we've kind of got stuck into this mentality of, oh, I'm up 2x, or I'm up 3x. I need to sell. I need to get out. Now, I haven't sold any Aster at all. I haven't taken any profits from my long. I haven't taken any profits from my spot positions. And now that's become 25% of my portfolio. And it wouldn't have been 25% if I had have sold any, right? If I'd have taken half out, it would have been, what, 12% or something? So, hundreds of thousands of dollars less. And the gains really compound, right? So if I'm up $300,000, if it hits $4 from here, I make another $300,000. So then I'm on $600,000. If it doubles from there, I'm on 1.2 million. So I only need 2x's from here to make 1.2 million. So do you see how the gains really compound? And the target price that I'm looking at is still much smaller than where it should be priced at. Okay, so they're saying it should reach $7. But they're doing 3 times revenue right now. So by the time it gets to $7, they might be doing 4, 5, 6 times the revenue at $7. And then people are going to start saying, well, this actually should be priced the same as Binance. That's going to be the next thing. I think we're really playing down what this project is. It's literally Binance. It's a decentralized version of Binance that CZ has literally given to us, the community, from the get-go, right? From 0.17, I think he tweeted about it. And it's beautiful. He's giving it to everyone before even the whales are getting in, right? They're having to buy at $2, $1.50. It wasn't even listed on exchanges. Did you see how it was listed? It wasn't listed on centralized exchanges. They didn't manage to get their hands on it. Shout out to BingX, because they were one of the first exchanges to list it. I frantically was going around all the exchanges, getting any dust I had. I think I had $3,000 on BingX. And I just aped it all into Aster, and then I went to Mexi, and I was going to all these platforms. And I think that $3,000 is like 12,000 or 15,000 now. It's crazy. I'm just going to leave it on there. I might even leave it on there forever, and just see where it goes to. Did you see how it was listed on their own decks first, right? So it's almost like they let retail get in, and the exchanges, they kind of said, look, we're on our own decks. If you want to list us, come and buy at spot, right? Come and buy in spot. We're not going to send you liquidity to dump the price. Also, what I will say is they've already been through a 10,000x. CZ's already been through this process. And he's already made mistakes. This wouldn't have been perfect, right? And I think he even said himself, it wasn't easy, we had to hold. He's already made the mistakes here that he needed to make. The best thing you can do when you're creating a business is mess up, right? Make mistakes and think, oh, wow, if we had have done this or we had have done that. I mean, if you messed up BNB, you've done a pretty good job at making a 10,000x. But, maybe we could have done this, maybe we could have done that. And he's saying now on to the next 10,000x, and he's already made the errors, right? He's already built the perfect project that just went up and up and up over time, and it can only be better. Aster can only be better. All the mistakes that he made on BNB, all the things that he learned along the way, he now can make sure that he doesn't do that. And if you look at how it's been launched, given to retail and given to the community, that builds a really solid foundation. Especially when people really believe in it. You also get a lot of people shaken out as well in the pullbacks, and a lot of people DCA, take some profits off the table, so their bags get smaller and smaller as the price goes up. And then it gets to $20, then it gets to $50, and everyone is shaved off so much of their bags that there's not huge bags sitting in there anymore. You do want as many people to sell as possible in these early stages, because like I said earlier on BNB, if you've got everyone in BNB is going to be a millionaire up here, you can't have everyone being a millionaire. The sell pressure would get too big, right? So you really do want to shake out as many people as possible on the way up. So that's possibly in play right now. What else do we have here? So we've talked about the volumes. I I see this over $20 this year. I still believe in that, guys. I still think it could be over $20. It's currently sitting around $2, so that's a 10x in the next 3 months. Making big money in this game, this is something I tweeted. Making big money in this game is not easy. Do you think I longed Brett and had an easy ride? We had pumps, we had dumps, CPI, inflation, KOLs were calling the top, calling for bear market. GDP was bad, endless fear and FUD. In the end, all I had to do was believe in my conviction. Once you go through this, you level up. So you probably see a lot of people on socials looking for a new entry here, looking to get in because they've already taken profits. But I've sat through this already, and I got in at 0.026 on Brett. And I said to myself, I don't think this price is ever going to come back down here again. All I have to do is hold. That's all I have to do. And it was the hardest thing I done. It was the hardest thing I'd done. The FUD, every day I was up. Because you think, guys, this was up 5x, 10x, 15x, 20x, 30x, 35x. This thing kept going up. And I was, should I take some profits here? Should I take some profits? There's loads of bad news. Like everyone on social is saying we're going to dump here. Memes are finished. Memes are over. And Brett just went into went up and up. I think it went over $1 billion market cap. And it wasn't easy. But after I sat through that, when I got into Aster, I was like, bang, we're in. It's not going to come back below this price, right? It's not going to come back below 0.62. I think my liquidation is like 0.4. It's not going to come below 0.4 because there's too many limit orders now. You've got Galaxy Digital buying at $2, buying hundreds of millions at $2. They're not buying at that price if they don't see upside or they don't expect upside, or if they see the price coming down. Do you think if they put in, like those whales, they put in hundreds of millions this week, what happens when the price goes down 30%? You think they're not going to buy more? What happens if it goes down 50%? Because for me to get hit on my liquidation, it needs to come down well over 50%, right? 70%, 80%. I don't think it's possible. Hey, anything's possible in crypto. It's going to be very hard. So my situation now is, I'm really, really confident that I have a 99% chance that I'm not going to get liquidated, and I believe that this is going to go to $20. So if I really believe that I can't get liquidated now, and this is to my community as well, because you got in with me, right, as well. I called this in my Discord. If you got in with me, I believe there's a 99% chance that we won't get liquidated ever again. Okay, so I don't think the price is ever going to come back in here, whether it's a year, even in the bear market. I don't think the price is going to come back down here because the market cap is so small, right? We know the revenue is huge. If you look at BNB, we got into BNB early last cycle around $50. I say early, we didn't get in this early, but we got in around $50. And the price never came back to $50. People might have said, in the bear market, you're going to get wrecked, but it didn't even come back to the lowest price. So this might repeat. Because we have the BNB chart, history might repeat. That's something to take into consideration. We might see the exact same thing that happened to BNB happen to Aster. Let's quickly look at the market cap. So, it was around here somewhere. The market cap was 6 billion and it went up to 93 billion in the bull run. So, I mean, we're actually very similar to this right now. We can actually use this chart because the market cap of Aster is around 4 billion. And here the price was 43 billion, right? And then in the bull run, which would be Q4, which is the next 3 months, if we see this Q4 rally, the market cap went up to 103 billion. So we could potentially see Aster go up to 103 billion or 100 billion in the next 3 months, which would put it on, something like 30x. Yeah, we put on a 30x, which is crazy. That's a moon boy. That's a moon boy play. But look, it happened before, guys. It happened before. And then what would happen is we saw a correction. So from the bull run to the bear market, we saw a correction, and the floor was 33 billion. So do you see what I'm trying to say? We're in at 3 or 4 billion right now. I expect it's probably going to go to 100 billion very soon. And then it's probably going to have a 70% pullback, which would put it at $30 billion market cap. So even in a bear market, if that does play out, Aster would be 10x from here. So it might even be $20 in a bear market. And I don't think people see that. I don't think people really understand that. And I don't think they understand what they're holding right now. That's such a cool roadmap. This is such a cool roadmap. I would probably swing trade it as well. So, if we do see 100 billion market cap, I'll probably take profits, because a lot of people are going to look at 100 billion market cap and compare it to BNB anyway. And it was a massive psychological level, and we ended up selling off, and we had a 70% correction. So I probably would take a lot off the table at 100 billion market cap, which is a 30x from where we are today. Roughly 30x, 33x. What else do we have here? So we've talked about Brett. I think this is going to look very similar to Brett in the coming months. They came out and they talked about Aster Chain. This is how early we are, guys. They haven't even released Aster Chain yet.
We are going to roll out our own blockchain L1 as well. It's in the process of we're internal testing it. But the way that we design it, we want to preserve trade privacy while providing trade verifiability. So you can verify a trade, but other people can't see exactly what that position is.
One of the really unique features they're doing is obviously the dark pools, and as you can see there, they're working on the L1 chain. Now, a lot of big money will come into this after the L1 is launched, right? Because there's a little bit of fear around the centralization of the platform right now. It's not fully migrated to an L1 blockchain, which is coming, and it's very easy to do to migrate, because all of the wallets, the decentralization of it, the wallets are still decentralized, right? You're still connecting your wallet to the decentralized part, and it's checking your on-chain wallet, etc. And then you would just switch that to an L1. And I think a lot of the big money will come once that comes, because it's probably also going to be open source, so that people can go in and research the code and check it out. And then you'll get some serious money coming into it after that, I believe. And those guys will wait, right? Just because it's 3 or 4 billion market cap, there's a lot of money that still came into BNB at 100 billion, right? There's people buying this at 90 billion, at 80 billion. And, this is where serious whale money starts to come in when you get into these figures, because there's liquidity there. It's proved itself. If there's a panic, there's so much liquidity there. They'll have time to get out and time to sell. So just because we're at 3.2 million, the whales don't have really any urgency to buy. There'll be whales here, like when they roll out the L1, if it's sitting around 10 billion, 20 billion, I'll probably put 500 million in, right? There might be whales out there who want to see this at 10 billion before they even consider getting into it. A lot of companies are like that. Even some people I know, some degens I know, they won't invest in anything under a 250 million market cap. And, I found good things at 50 million, right? But they've said, yeah, I'll look at it when it gets to 250. So it's not always about being early for some of the whales. And I think we'll continue to see a lot of liquidity coming in. I think that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, as you know, super bullish on this. If you want to see my buy and sell alerts, I did buy something else. I have bought something else recently. And if you want to see the other asset that I've bought, come over to my X, search this, click the link, and then in there's a button to join the Patreon. It's a monthly fee, guys, so you don't have to stay in there forever. If it's not for you, if you don't find value, you can leave. It's not for everyone. If you're busy, you haven't got all the time to check for buy alerts and stuff. We don't really do too many buy alerts. So I think sometimes there might be a trade every other day. We might do a buy alert once a week, once a month. I don't really buy a lot of rubbish, to be honest. I really want to find the best projects. I don't just buy any crap. I want to find the best projects, so I don't post tons of buy alerts. But yeah, you can see the guys have been absolutely printing. Big up at TM11033 holding to 104k. Big up Spicy Peanut Butter, 78%. Yeah, we've got some crazy gains in here. Big up Puglad, my first ever 10x. That's insane. GG, bro. So he longed Aster with us. He got in around just after my buy alert at 71. And I think a lot of people, I held my entire bags, and a lot of people were going to take profits, but they also held as well. So I think some of the 10x's and 20x's they made because they held. Like we said, if you sell half, then you would have been at half of that, right? So GG's, man. It was risky, right? It was risky holding. It still is a bit risky holding, but holding the entire bag. But the gains are really starting to compound. You can see some of my trades here on AVNT 468, Aster $59,000. I took another AVNT trade. I've taken loads of Aster trades, guys. I've bought some more Aster today as well. Aster here on another platform, 174%. My hype short printed, so $15,000 on that hyperliquid short. Big ups if you guys caught that, because when I think I first posted it on YouTube, it was $55. Now it's 58. Oh, I shorted at 58. I think it was 55 when I done the video, and it's now 43. So it's absolutely tanked. Another one of my Aster trades on Blowfin, $68,000. In what, 10 days? Crazy, guys. It's crazy. And this is just leverage. I've got my spot bags, right? So yeah, it's like 25% of my portfolio now. If this 10x's, it's going to be double the size of my portfolio, which is insane, right? This is the game in crypto. You see, one play, if you get one play right, it only takes one play and you could double the size of your portfolio if it hits your target, right? If it hits the target. This is why you have to stay in the game. It's why you have to stay in the game. You can't come and go and miss a buy alert and miss that, because you just never know. And eventually, these opportunities don't come around very often, and this is why I put quite decent size in, and I actually took leverage and spot, because they don't come around very often. And when they do come around, it's about making sure you maximize those plays. And if it's a highly risky play, I posted a leverage trade that hit stop loss the other day, and I said this is very, very degen, and it's not the same as an Aster play, right? It's not the same as an AVNT play. So it's about kind of maximizing the low risk plays and making sure your risk management is there on the high risk plays. Guys, that's it for now. None of the information in the video is financial advice. Do your own research. Investing in crypto is highly risky. You can lose all your money investing in anything. So always do your own research. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep you guys updated on Aster. I'm going to do some videos on AVNT as well. I know you guys want to see those, so I'm going to do a deep dive similar to how we've done here. I'm going to do a deep dive on AVNT on the next video. What else do you want to see? What other videos do you want to see? I've done the quantum computing update, so a lot of you wanted to see that. Let me know what you want to see. I'm also working on something special in the Discord, which I can talk about later, probably not yet, but I'll talk to you guys about that as well soon. Yeah, I think that's it. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.